All right, all right, all right. Now I think I got it live. So first few times of going live here, so I'm still trying to figure out everything. So if you was waiting on my previous live, this is now the new live because I definitely messed up the one previously. All right, so I just wanted to start off by saying good morning to everybody here. So I'm not really used to doing live, so this is really something kind of new for me. So I'm trying to get the hang of doing this, trying to go live a little bit more and read a little bit from my books, provide a little bit of purpose, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of direction on the things that I am doing. You know, some things that I'm writing. All right. So if you don't know anything about me, my name is Terry Thompson, and I am a motivational speaker. I am a published author. I have 5 books published. I have Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know, Leadership Solved, which you can see right there with the puzzle piece. I've got Leadership Is. I've got how to be a mentor, how to become a mentor, and then I got my leadership series. So I got a few other books that I'm currently working on, primarily within the leadership world, motivation, self-help type areas, which I write in. So I got 24 years of knowledge and experience of leading others to personal and professional success, and that's exactly what I want to do for you. That's my goal. That's my purpose, is I want to be able to provide purpose, motivation, and direction so that you too can be successful within anything that you do. All right. So today I wanted to jump on here live to talk about attitude. All right. Attitude is very big. Okay. So if you know anything about me, you know within my books, I write about a concept that I like to call the 5 rights. If you adhere to the 5 rights, you can never be wrong. But what exactly are those 5 rights? Okay, well, here's those 5 rights. So if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, then you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm saying the 5 rights. However, if you have seen one of my previous videos, you know exactly what the 5 rights are. And they are right place, right time, right uniform, dress or attire, depending on how you dress within your team or your organization, right information, and more importantly, the right attitude. Attitude, I'm telling you, attitude is everything. Okay. You know, it's kind of like one of the old quotes goes, where you can just insert something here. It's not everything, but it's the only thing. All right. Attitude is one of those things that can definitely get you by in a good situation or a bad situation. It can also create a good situation, and it can also create a bad situation as well too. All right. So attitude is everything. All right, so I kind of want to start off here by reading just a little bit from one of my books. And this piece that I wrote is called It's Just Begun. Just when you think it's over, it's just begun. That's a great quote right there, because so many people have a defeatist attitude, to where they think that, you know, when something bad happens to them, they think that it's over and then they just quit. You know, here's the thing about attitude. Attitude is really a mindset. Okay? That's exactly what it is. Attitude is a mindset. All right? So just when you think it's over, it's just begun. All right? So how many of you have seen that picture of a bus? All right, so this bus is driving down the road, and in this bus, it's got, you know, the 2 sides of the seats. On one side of the seat, you got the person looking all upset. They're looking down because they're looking at the mountain. Then you got on the other side of the seat, you've got a person who's happy. That side of the bus is sunshine. The other side of the bus is dark, of course. And that person on the other side is happy. They're smiling because they're looking out into the beautiful scenery that's out there. They have a great attitude. The person on the other side has a bad attitude. Once again, it further proves the point that perspective is everything. Mindset is everything. And that's what an attitude is. An attitude is a perspective or a mindset. So remember, just when you think it's over, it's just begun. Now, this statement has 2 sides to it. depending on your attitude towards the situation, which has both a positive and a negative. On the negative side, it is when you think it's over and you give up, then you're right, it's over. Okay. When you give up, you have given yourself permission to quit. You've quit, you're done at that time. But if you look at this from a positive perspective and think of it as an opportunity, then your journey to something better has just begun. Okay. Once again, it's all about perspective. If you think something's over, it's over. If you think something's bad, it's bad. If you think something's going to be whatever, that's exactly what it's going to be. But if you look at something as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to develop into something bigger than who or what you currently are, then you will absolutely thrive in that situation. You will thrive in that situation. Okay. Once again, it's about perspective. It's about mindset. It's about your attitude towards that situation that will allow you to either be defeated or will allow you to go forth and do good things and win. Okay. After all, if you've hit rock bottom and you think it's over and there's nowhere to go but up, thus beginning your something better than where you previously were, all right, that's a positive mindset. So here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is this. When you think you've hit rock bottom and it looks like it's over, embrace the idea that it's not over, but it's the beginning to something better. So you see how I kind of shifted that right there to where I've taken something that potentially could be negative, and because you have a better attitude towards it, because you're thinking that it's an opportunity, whether it be to learn, to grow, to develop, even to mentor or teach or coach others, is an opportunity. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to share quite a few stories. Well, not quite a few, but I'll share a few stories to where attitude, all right, where attitude played a huge role in the outcome of that situation. Okay. So in the stories that I will share, you will see how a negative attitude led you down one path and how a positive attitude could lead you down a completely different path. All right. So as I'm going along here, I'm just going to read a little bit here from my book. Before we get into those stories, I just want to kind of share some more things from my book. So what I'm reading from is I'm reading from my book called Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know. All right. So within this book right here, I have 100 stories, or I have 100 messages that I've learned and I've discovered in my over 24 years of leading others to personal and professional success. And I basically captured, okay, those particular ideas. I captured those ideas within that book, and I wanted to make sure that I shared them with you. All right. So here's the next one. Encourage someone today. All right. Hey, how's it going? Hey, thank you for joining me. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. So USA Blogger 2019 just joined me, and I wanted to thank you for stopping in. You know, it's definitely a loyal supporter. And, you know, if you haven't been to her page, please go check out her page, USA Blogger 2019. Great motivational speaker, has a lot of great content, goes live. I guarantee you that once you get in there, you'll fall in love with her right away and be motivated and inspired. So once again, thank you for stopping by. All right, so make sure that you encourage someone. So what I just did right there is that I encouraged someone. You know, it's great that you popped in and right at the right moment in time here, because I was talking about encouraging someone. And sometimes that's all you need, is just that little bit of encouragement to change your attitude from a negative one to a positive one. You'd really be surprised at how much you can brighten someone's day through simple actions. Simple actions, just little steps, little things can change someone's attitude or their mindset from negative to positive. So let me ask you something. How often have you ever been told that you can't do something? Okay. I know myself, I've been told many times that I can't do something. It's these people that are out there trying to bring you down, okay, because they can't do something. They're not capable. They are not able. So here's the mindset that you need to have and the attitude that you need to have whenever that happens. Okay. You need to understand that other people's limitations are not your limitations. You have your abilities, you have your capabilities, you have your knowledge, your experience. And because somebody else cannot perform at the level that you're performing at, you don't have to listen to that. But here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I believe that you can learn from anybody. And when somebody is trying to bring you down or they're trying to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's great. I just tend to sit there quietly and I'll listen to them, let them speak, let them do what they have to do, and let them say what they have to say. And then I will provide an example. Well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you done this? Sometimes it's that little bit of outside perspective that can shift your mindset. And sometimes that's all that you need. You just need that one little bit of outside perspective that creates that tiny shift within your mind that allows you to go from having a negative attitude to a positive attitude. Remember, I said in the beginning, attitude is a mindset. Okay. Now, have you ever been discriminated against? This is a big one. Discrimination. Have you ever been discriminated against because of your gender, your religion, your age, your sexual orientation, or even race? Those are all huge, huge topics in today's world right now. And they are causing a lot of negativity that's going on out there. All right. So when these things happen, it is very discouraging, very defeating, and downright degrading when it happens. Would you agree or disagree? Okay. I would agree that whenever somebody is trying to bring you down through negative statements, or they're trying to say you're this, you're that, okay, all they are trying to do is bring you down to their level. They're trying to bring you down to their level. All right. Keep this in mind. If you are ever looking down on someone, I hope that you're trying to help them up. Okay. Now I had this great quote. I hope I don't mess this up. So I had this quote that I had created a while back. And it's called "If You See Me." Okay. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm helping someone up. If you see me looking at someone directly face to face, it's because I'm helping them. I'm equal to them. I am peers with them. But if you see me looking up, it's because I'm thanking God, because God has provided me with all the opportunities that I will ever need. Remember the quote, okay? And it goes like this. With God, all things are possible. And all things are possible. And when you believe, you can achieve. All right. So instead of discouraging someone, my challenge to you is this: encourage someone. It's free. All right. That's one of the quotes. It's one of the things I kind of learned this week is it's free. Okay. There's a lot of things in this world that are free. Okay. And encouraging someone is absolutely free. By giving someone a can-do attitude, you will have enabled them to believe in themselves. And sometimes that's all that it takes. Have you ever seen someone with their head down? They're just looking down and it just looks like, man, it's the end of the world. Have you ever thought about going over and asking that person, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? Now, if you've ever done that, what has been the attitude of that person? Okay. What has been the attitude of that person? So if you've ever seen somebody that's down, someone that's looking sad, someone that's looking upset, and you've gone over and you've asked them, hey, how are you doing? Can I help you? Is everything okay? And if they look up at you and they're either crying, they got a bad attitude, or they respond to you positively, I'm just sitting here thinking, or I'm just waiting, or whatever the case may be. Okay, once again, it's up to you to kind of make that assessment. But how often have you just really taken it upon yourself to go ask if someone is okay? All right, within a team or within a group that I'm in, we constantly check on each other. Okay, we constantly check on each other to make sure that everybody is okay. Hey, how's it going? So we got Mai in Thailand that also just stepped in. I want to thank you for joining me here. Definitely a shout out to you. It's my praise hands right here. USA Blogger 2019. There's my praise hands. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, man. I tell you, it's been a great week watching each and every one of your videos and everything, and I've truly been inspired and truly been motivated to really be a part of that. And it has definitely motivated me to want to try to do better and be better and provide a lot of that purpose, motivation, and direction. So back to my story here. We have a group of people that really kind of check on each other. We ask each other if they're okay. It's kind of like a buddy check, so to speak. It's a buddy check. And sometimes that's all that it takes to lift somebody up and to change their attitude or to change their mindset. So whenever you do that, all right, whenever you do that, you will have enabled someone to believe in themselves. Especially if you've taken a negative situation and tried to turn it into a positive situation, you will have enabled. So how many of you ever heard of the disabled versus enabled concept? So whenever you disable someone, you disable them through negativity by talking to them negatively, talking about them, making bad statements. When you do those kind of things, you disable someone. They will completely shut down at that point. However, if you provide purpose, motivation, direction, give someone a can-do attitude, you will enable them. So let me ask you this. How often have you felt bad about something that you needed to do? Something that you needed to do, and you wasn't quite sure if you could do it. Okay. And did somebody ever come along and say, oh, you're not going to be able to do that? Now, it's immediately that defeatist attitude that puts you further into not necessarily depression, but in a I can't do attitude. But if someone was to come along and say, oh, you got this. This is all you. You can do this. Have you ever noticed that when someone encourages you or gives you that can-do attitude, that you can absolutely step up your game and you can perform 100 times better? I know there's things that I've doubted within my life that I was like, you know what, man, gosh, I really can't do that, or I'm not good at that. But when somebody came along and gave me encouragement, in other words, they enabled me, the energy that I got from that, the motivation that I got from that allowed me to take that and run with something that I just didn't think that I could do. Okay. And it allowed me to be successful. Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries at all. So I like to look at encouraging or discouraging as enabling or disabling others. When you discourage someone, you disable them. When you encourage someone, you enable them. Be an enabler and not a disabler. That's my challenge to you. You never know that you may have to rely on that other person. You may have to rely on that other person. All right, so we also have Dada's Food Crave Kitchen that just stepped in. Thank you, thank you. I see that you set the alarm and you definitely got up this morning and made it in. If you haven't watched Dada's Food Crave Kitchen, oh my goodness, her live streams are absolutely amazing as well too. Okay, very motivational, very inspirational. She is a very, very passionate speaker. I tell you what, last night I was in the middle of cooking dinner last night whenever I was watching. And that's another thing. If you haven't necessarily seen her page and watched some of her recipe videos, she is an absolutely amazing cook. Great food, great visual on presentation of the plate. I'm telling you, oh my goodness, I think I almost licked the screen whenever I saw that. That was absolutely delicious. But anyway, so I was in the middle of doing that. Very passionate speaker, very, very passionate speaker. And I love that because, whenever you publicly speak, it's an attitude that you are portraying. You are giving from yourself to others. And if you are not passionate about that, then the people listening are not going to be passionate with you. How many times have you been speaking? Or, well, let me flip this a little bit. Let me kind of flip the script on this a little bit. How many times have you been listening and the person that was speaking was like, yeah, and today what we're going to talk about is stuff. Would that motivate you? Would that inspire you? No, it definitely wouldn't inspire me. I would probably just cut that right off, and I'd probably just kind of slouch down in my chair, and I'd probably just be flipping on my phone or something like that. But if someone speaks with passion, someone speaks with great attitude, positive mindset, you will inspire others to take action. You will make them want to sit up in their chair. You know what? I got to listen to this. I have to listen to this. Okay. Once again, your energy, your positivity, what you put out will come back. What you give will come back. All right. So once again, I like to think of it as enabling or disabling. So if you are positive, you have a great attitude, you will enable others to want to take action. You will inspire others to take action. However, if you are speaking in a very negative tone, a very low tone, very monotone, you will disable others and they will not want to take action. Okay. So when you encourage someone, you enable them. Be an enabler, not a disabler. You never know, you may have to rely on that person. So the reason why I said that is because I've had to rely on people in order to be successful over the years. Okay. And when you shut that off, when you shut that down, they will be less likely to want to help you later on. So you see how shutting someone else down can have a negative attitude towards somebody else. Hey, so we have Diana 25 that also just stepped into the room as well too. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. I want to try to give shout outs as people come in and listen to my live stream. And I'll talk more about that later because I got something later on here at the end of my live that will be an opportunity for you as well too. So I want to be able to share you. I want to be able to share your page, but I have an opportunity. I have a great opportunity for you. So I got one of my books called Leadership Is, and it's where I talk about words of leadership, words of action, words of positivity, words of growth, words of development. And I want to be able to talk about those words, and then I want to give you an opportunity to give me a word to talk about as well too. And I will make sure that I mention you. I'll make sure that I provide a link back to you. That way it gains visibility back to your channel as well too. So I'll talk about that later on. That'll be a great opportunity for each and every one of you if you would like to gain some visibility from my stream as well too. So I have a plan with that in which I'm going to share that out on social media later on down the line and hopes to bring visibility not only back to my channel, but I want to help provide value and bring visibility back to your channels as well too. So I've been watching, and I really, really believe that each and every one of you have some great content. You know, I picked up some good recipes, gotten some good motivation, and I enjoy that. I truly do. I thoroughly enjoy that. And, I want to thank each and every one of you for motivating me and inspiring me to be better all the time. And I'm going to try to get better at doing these lives. I really am. I'm going to try to get better at doing these lives. So I'm not used to doing the live, video stream. Usually I do more prepared stuff. So once again, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support here. And all right, so moving right along. So I got some stories that I want to share with you. Okay, so I got a few stories that I want to share with you that I think will really hammer home the point of attitude and how either a positive attitude or a negative attitude can change the outcome. Okay, and how they can change the outcome. So If you don't know anything about me, once again, I have been a leader for over 24 years. Okay. I have led thousands of people to personal and professional success. I have mentored, coached, taught, trained, counseled thousands of people. Okay. To be better than what they are, to be better than who they are, so that they can go out into the world and they can do great things. Okay. And believe it or not, a lot of that comes back to me. It does. I've got people that are on Facebook. I got people that are on Instagram that have followed me over the years, and they still give me feedback. They say, you know what? I remember, 10 years ago when you said this or you did that, and it still sticks with them. That's amazing. When something can come back to you, you know that you had a positive influence on that person's life. So one time, matter of fact, let me kind of go in this direction right here. At one particular time, somebody asked me, what is the most important aspect of leadership? What is the most important aspect of leadership? And I sat here and I thought for a second. I was like, gosh, man, that is such a loaded question. Because within leadership, within life, there is so many opportunities, so many things, so many different directions that I could have taken that. But I really narrowed it down to two words. Those two words are influence and impact. Influence and impact. That's the two most important aspects of leadership. That's the two most important aspects of public speaking. That's the two most important aspects of business. That's the two most important aspects of anything that you do: influence and impact. If you have a positive influence over others, okay, you will have a positive impact on their lives. All right, but how do you build that influence? You build that influence through a lot of different things, and that's a whole other video right there. I definitely got to create a whole other video for that one. You build influence by building trust, by providing purpose, motivation, direction, by providing value. I mean, there's so many different ways in which you can build influence. I'm going to have to write that one down. I am going to create a video on how to increase influence. And I think I kind of did a video on that. I did do a video on that. See, there goes my short-term memory again. So I did do a video on how to build influence, but there's a lot of other things that I can talk about on that one. So if you haven't watched that video, please make sure you watch that one as well too. How to increase influence. So I talk about a few methods on how to do that. So influence and impact. Those are the two most important aspects of leadership. And without that influence, you cannot make an impact. You cannot make an impact. All right. So here's some stories. I want to share some stories. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It takes a village to raise a kid, and you are definitely given back to better someone's life for that. God will reward you. Dallas Food Crave Kitchen said that. Thank you. Thank you very much for those words of encouragement. You are absolutely correct. It does take a village to raise a kid. Okay. But I also want to caveat on that as well too. Okay. Now, speaking of a village, all right, if you want a village to be successful, you basically got to teach. It's like the old adage goes, where you give a person a fish, they can kind of eat for one day or for one meal, but you teach them how to fish, they will continuously know how to feed themselves or how to provide for themselves. And the same thing works for children. All right. So a lot of times children, they will want that easy answer. They look up to mom, they look up to dad for that purpose, motivation, direction. Okay. But the thing is that you have to be able to teach your kids those skills. Okay. You got to teach them the skills, the knowledge and the skills. And from that, they can take that knowledge and skills and go out and develop their own experiences. See, experience is something I can't give you. I can't give you experience. I can give you knowledge and skills, but I can't give you experience. That's up to you. You have to go out and get your own experiences. All right. And that's one of the things. So a village basically will provide a lot of their knowledge and their skills to the kid, but that kid still has to go out and take that knowledge and skills and develop his or her own experiences. And when you gain your experiences, from those experiences, you can take that, wrap it up into knowledge and skills, and give that to somebody else. Once again, enabling. passing that along. Okay. Quick story. So I had a leader one time that told me that it was not his job to train me. Ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing that I have ever heard a leader say. Well, I mean, I've heard a few other ridiculous things, but at that particular moment in time, that was one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard this person say. It's not my job to train you. It's not my job to teach you. It's not my job to mentor you. I was like, well, why are you in a leadership position then? You are in a leadership position to inspire, to provide purpose, to provide motivation, to provide direction. Okay. And if you're going to tell me that it's not your job to do any of that, you're not a leader. All right. So, children, when you enable a child, whenever you provide that motivation, that purpose, motivation, and direction, you will inspire them to take action. Okay. All right. So here we go. I got a few stories that I want to share with you. And this first one, I want to start with this first one because this one was absolutely funny to me. Well, it was funny to me, but it didn't end up being funny because it came back full circle to me. I didn't really get in trouble for this one, but it was one of those things that I definitely had. I had a conversation with one of my senior leaders about my approach towards teaching this method. So pardon me for a second. I get a cup of coffee here. You know, you guys are right. Trying to talk for, I've been on for 31 minutes already, and I've already got kind of a dry mouth here. But I've been on stage talking for a little bit longer than this. I've actually got selected. I've actually spoken on stage. I was selected to be a guest speaker at a few events, and man, those are absolutely amazing. If you've never been up on stage and you got 1,000 people in front of you and talk, oh my God, it is absolutely such a great experience, and it's an honor and privilege to be able to do those types of things. So back to my story here. Punch in the face. I like to call this one right here punch in the face. So I had one of my employees years ago. It wasn't years ago. It was 2015. So in 2015, I had one of my employees that was having a bad day. He had a bad attitude towards a lot of things. And I was really struggling with trying to motivate this particular individual to do something that I wanted him to do. Okay. So here's what I did. I pulled this young man off to the side and I said, look, I understand that you don't necessarily want to do what it is that I'm asking you to do, but let me put it to you like this. What if I was to punch you right in the face right now? What if I was to punch you right in the face? What would your attitude towards that be? Okay. I mean, I wasn't trying to use that as a scare tactic or anything like that. What I was trying to do is I was trying to teach this young man some perspective. Okay. Because by him telling me he didn't want to do what it is that what I had asked him to do, it was almost as if he was punching me in the face. So I wanted to punch him back in the face. And I used that as kind of a metaphor. Okay. Hey, good morning. How's everything going? And I wanted to use that as a metaphor. Okay. For what I thought that he was doing for me. So by him telling me no, that's exactly what he was doing. He was punching me in the face. So I was like, okay, what if I was to punch you right in the face? He didn't like that too much. But he saw my perspective, sort of, because that came back to me, and I'll tell you about that here in a second. Okay. When you give somebody an alternative that's worse than what it is that you're trying to ask them, believe me, that will shift their attitude. That will shift their mindset. So my point in this is that whenever you get told to do something or whenever you have to do something, it's not always as bad as the alternative. It's your attitude. It's your mindset towards that will allow you, or what I said earlier, enable you to be able to do those things. All right. Believe me, every single day, there's things that I don't want to do. Okay. There's things that I just don't want to do. I try to do some of those harder things up front so that I can get them out of the way so that I can move on to the things that are either more fun, more exciting. And sometimes, that kind of has two perspectives. Sometimes you might want to start off with like a fun, easy thing to kind of get you going as well, too. Once again, it's about attitude. So Yeah, I didn't punch the guy in the face. All right, I didn't punch the guy in the face, but he saw my perspective and then he went on and he actually did the thing that I was trying to get him to do. Well, later on that day, my senior leader pulled me into his office and said, "Hey, so I heard earlier that you was wanting to punch one of my employees in the face." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." Really? It's like, "No, I don't want to punch the guy in the face. I was using it as a metaphor." But obviously this person misunderstood what it is that I said, twisted it. That's kind of a hard word to say. Twisted it. So I always have trouble saying that stuff. Maybe I should say it more often. So what he did was he took that, he twisted it into something else, told my boss, and said, "Hey, this guy's trying to punch me in the face." I was like, "No, I wasn't trying to punch him in the face. I was using it as a metaphor because what I was asking him to do was easy. He didn't want to do it. And I said it was like he was punching me in the face." So didn't get in trouble, but I just told that I had to take a different approach. Okay, so I took a different approach. All right, so here's another one right here about attitude and how attitude can be everything. How many of you, please, how many of you have spent a long day at work? All right, you spent a long day at work, you get into the house, you're trying to have dinner, or you're trying to get dinner going, trying to get undressed, get a shower, whatever the case may be, and one of two things will happen. One of two things will happen. Either the phone will ring and it'll be a telemarketer saying, "Hey, we want you to buy this stuff. We have this great new shiny bright object and we want you to buy it." Has that ever happened to you? Or a knock on the door, bang, bang. "Hey, we have this great new thing we want you to buy. We're just in the area and we want you to get it." Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me all the time. I love it. I absolutely love it when that happens. So some people have a bad attitude towards that. "I don't want you to call me. I don't want you to talk to me. I'm in the middle of dinner. Why are you calling me in the middle of my dinner?" You know, or "Why are you banging on my door in the middle of dinner?" I have fun with that. I truly and I thoroughly do. I love that stuff because I twist it on them because little do they know that they are talking to a marketer too. I love it. Once again, it's all about attitude. It's all about your attitude. All right, so here in the chat, we got Dada's Food Crave saying, "You got frustrated because he didn't see your perspective. We all do things that we don't want to do, but we have to do them. Example, like getting up to go to work or preparing meals." Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Exactly. So here's how I kind of look at things of having to do them. I like to look at things having to do things versus wanting to do things. Okay. Having versus wanting, having versus needing, having versus, guess what? And here it comes, must. When you identify the things that you must do, that will motivate you. That will inspire you. That will get you up out of bed every single morning to go do the things that you do. Notice I didn't say have to do. Notice I didn't say need to do, should do, could do. You must do those things. You know why? Because other people are relying on you and the things that you do every single day. So when you get up in the morning and you go out into that world, what are you bringing to the world? Who are you bringing to the world? Okay. Think of it that way right there. When I get up every day, I must get up. When I get up every day, I must go to work. When I get up every day, I must provide purpose. When I get up every day, I must provide motivation. You know what? If I can't motivate myself, then how can I motivate others? You got to look at it that way. You got to look at it that way. If I can't motivate myself, then how can I motivate others? If I can't inspire myself, how can I inspire others? All right. So have versus must, want versus must, need, shoulda, coulda, woulda versus must. When you figure out what you must do, you will discover what your why is. And when you can get to the bottom of your why I do things the way that I do, you will discover why you must do the things that you do. All right. So whether regardless of whatever your job is, that is important. That is what you are bringing to the world. That's what you are bringing to the table. There are certain people, there are lots of people that are out there that completely downplay what it is that they do. And I think that's a load of garbage. Everybody is important. Everybody provides purpose, motivation, direction. They provide value that goes on out there. Okay. And when you bring your best, when you're providing your best, when you're giving your best, once again, what you give, what you put out there will come back. Maybe not necessarily to you, okay, but to somebody else. To somebody else. Sometimes what you say and what you do can have a profound impact. Once again, there goes that influence and impact, because what you say and what you do has influence and has impact on others. All right. And it might not come back to you, but it will go to others because of you. Because of you. You start that. All right. I like that. Yeah, that is Food Crave Kitchen. I definitely like that right there. You can't take care of others if you can't take care of yourself. So a quick story on that right there. So how many of you have ever been on an airplane flight? Pardon me for a second. An airplane flight. And during the beginning stages of the airplane flight, there's like this briefing, so to speak. And they always talk about the mask. Okay. Whenever you put on that mask, make sure you put on your mask first so that you can take care of others. Okay. Now that's not being selfish. You're not being selfish. I'm going to put my mask on first, forget everybody else. No, you are putting on your mask first so that you can take care of others. Because if you don't put on your mask first and you pass out or whatever the case, then you can't take care of others. Okay. So it's not being selfish. All right. So once you get your mask on, once you are able, once you are capable, then you go help others. You take care of others. All right. You have to be able to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. You have to gain that knowledge first. You have to gain that perspective first. You have to gain first. And then most importantly, give back to others. See, it goes back into that story that I was talking about earlier about that leader that I had that says, it's not my job to teach you. It's not my job to train you. I thought at that moment, why are you being so selfish? You have all this knowledge. You have all this experience. You're in the position in which you can provide purpose, motivation, direction, influence, and impact, but yet you refuse to. Why did he hold on to that? I have no idea. To this day, I still have no idea why this person held on to that. I have no idea why this person was being so selfish. I don't have no idea why he didn't want to provide that to me. All right. So back to what I was talking about, marketing phone calls. So marketing phone calls or people banging on your door saying, we got to buy this stuff. I love that. Once again, it's a matter of perspective. You know why? Because I'm also into marketing and advertising as well too. So if I can provide some feedback to that person, hey, I love how you said that, but you know what? When you bang on people's door, you might, here's something that you may want to consider or think about. I try to give back. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I was like, look, I said, I'm genuinely not interested in what it is that that you have. Okay. But I may be. But do you have a card or do you have a website or do you have something? Once again, I try to have that positive conversation. And once I do become interested, I do engage back with that. If in fact that, I do get to a point to where I want that product or I want that service or whatever the case may be. So, here's a good one. Sponsored ads. So whenever you're on social media, and this is a good tip for you, pay attention to this one. This is a great tip. Okay. And this is one that I learned a long time ago. All right. And then once again, it's about attitude. It's about perspective. When you're on social media, how many times are you flicking through your phone and you see a sponsored ad? Sponsored ad. I see them all the time. And guess what? I love them. I love those things. And a lot of people get upset about them. A lot of people get upset about those sponsored ads. I love them. I embrace them. And guess what I do? I also comment on them. You know why I do that? Because it gives me visibility. It's social. It's being social on social. And guess what? Those are sponsored ads. Those things are paid for by somebody else. And when you comment on that, you are following that paid ad in which other people are paying for that for you to also have visibility. I love it. You're gaining visibility being paid for by others. You are being sponsored. Comment on that stuff. Don't get mad. Don't have an attitude towards that. Oh, man, here goes another sponsored ad. Oh my God, another sponsored ad. Oh, why am I seeing so many sponsored ads? No, embrace that stuff. Embrace it. Comment on it. Gain free visibility paid for by others. So how many people did I just blow your mind on that one? If I just blew your mind with that tip right there, let me know about it. Okay. That right there, that little tiny shift in attitude for me meant a world of difference between not having visibility and having visibility paid for by others. That was a huge shift in my attitude towards sponsored ads that allowed me to gain visibility paid for by others. So please do that. Comment on those sponsored ads. All right. Here's another good one right here. Being put on a task or a job that you don't want to do. Okay. How many times has that happened to you? I know that's happened to me several times. You go into work every day, you have a plan. It's like the old quote goes, you plan your work and work your plan. But I've had a few days where I've gone into work, I've had a plan, and that plan gets absolutely squashed because of someone else's plan, somebody else's agenda, somebody else's, I don't want to do this stuff, so I'm going to delegate that, and I'm going to hand that off to Terry to go do that. How often has that happened to you at work? I know it's happened to me quite often. And it's, and I wrote an article in one of my books called Be a Star, or Don't Be Afraid to Be a Star, something along those lines. And STAR is an acronym, someone that anyone recognizes, STAR, someone that anyone recognizes. What that means is that you are not afraid to let yourself shine through. You're not afraid to let your knowledge, your skills, your purpose, what you do shine through. Once again, you're being a star. Don't be afraid to shine bright. However, it also has its repercussions. Okay, it also has its repercussions. Because I'm good at a lot of things, that's also created a situation where, hey, Terry's good at that. Let's hand that off to him. Hey, his team is good at that. Let's hand it off to him and they'll take care of it. All right, so that's laziness right there. It's like, well, you're not good at that. Just because I'm good at it, you're not good at it. You're going to hand that off to me? So you see how my negative attitude right there can cause dissension within a team. It can cause dissension within an organization. I take that on. I embrace that. I don't mind taking on tasks that other people don't want to do because I'm better at it. All right. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the attitude of what you're doing is for the betterment of the team, for the betterment of the group, for the betterment of the company or the organization, or even individuals, or even you for that matter. Okay. So if you take on some of those tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, sometimes that's a good thing. At the opposite end of that spectrum, there could always be worse. You could be put on a task and you could be mumbling about it. You could be grumbling about it. You'd be like, I don't want to do this. This really sucks. But guess what? There's another task waiting to be done that sucks just as bad or worse. So you got to kind of pick and choose your arguments, pick and choose your battles, because even though you may be told to do something, there could also be something worse that you could be told to do. Keep that in mind. All right. I've been told to do a lot of bad things, but worse things have been put on others than me. All right. So moving right along, I got a story here about a cash register lady. Okay. A cash register lady. She was, where was I at? I think it was a Walmart. So I was at a Walmart. Okay. And I went up to the cash register and It was obvious that this lady was having a very bad day. Okay, she was in such a hurry. She was just moving 1,000 miles an hour. Her hair was all over the place. She was rushing and I saw this from like a distance because I was like two people behind. There was two people in front of me, and she was just plowing the stuff through. Bam, bam, man, I tell you what, she just had a bad attitude. She was just in such a big, gigantic hurry to get the people there that was at her register through. She was like, bam, bam, got to get these people through. I got to get these people through. And and the customers that was standing there was looking at her like, oh my goodness, man, this lady is crazy. Right? Yeah, and I kind of saw that from two people back as I was observing. Okay, so I waited my turn, got my stuff up there. The first person went through, they was gone. Second person went through, they was gone. Now it's my turn. Okay, now it's my turn. This lady's doing the exact same thing. She's bam, bam, bam. So I was like, hey, how you doing? Putting on the charm, right? And I'm doing good. I was like, whoa, man, this lady just viciously attacked me with good with like, it's funny how one single word can really kind of make you take a step back and whoa, 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 whoa. She said good with so much conviction that she was bad. I was concerned. Okay, so I was like, no, I mean that. How are you doing? You doing good? Well, what's it to you? I was like, oh, okay, I see what I'm going to have to do here. So then I kind of flipped the script. I was like, hey, I looked this woman straight in the face and I was like, so what time do you get off tonight? And I could just tell in her, eyes, it's like, oh my God, here we go. She was like, and she goes, I'm not trying to go out with you or nothing like that. Once again, having a continued attitude towards me. Looked her straight in the face. I was like, ma'am, I said, I'm not trying to take you out. I'm not trying to go out with you. I said, I've been married for over 20 years and I got two kids. I said, I can assure you that, I don't want to take you out or I don't want to go out with you. But I'm curious, what time do you get off tonight? So she kind of gave in a little bit. She's like, well, I get off at 10 o'clock. Well, at that time, I think it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. So this lady had about 5 more hours to go on her shift. And that's what I proceeded to tell her about. I was like, hey, I didn't ask you what time you get off work to ask you out or anything like that. I asked you what time you get off work because that's how much longer you got to go before you get off of your shift. What are you in a hurry for? She just kind of looked at me like, whoa. She didn't realize she was rushing the customers to get them through when she still had 5 more hours to go on her shift. So once again, it was about attitude and it was about perspective. Once I said that to her and she understood and she realized, man, I've really got to slow down. I do have 5 more hours of this stuff. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to make yourself tired. You are literally going to drain the life and energy out of you with a bad attitude. And that's my point. When you have a bad attitude towards anything, it drains you. It sucks the life out of you. Okay. And it causes not only you to have a bad day, but once again, I can only imagine how those two people that were in front of me, or even the previous customers that this person had, how they felt. That attitude she gave them, did they take that attitude and did they take that out in the world? I guarantee you when they walked out of that store, they was probably talking about that. Once again, giving that attitude energy, taking that attitude in that situation with them, unbeknownst to that lady at the cash register, and they was taking that energy out into the world with them. And that probably affected those people. But you know what? It didn't affect me. Didn't affect me. So guess what? That lady looked me straight in the face, and with the most sincere look on her face, she goes, thank you. She said, thank you. And I'm like, for what? She goes, for making me smile. I'm like, I made you smile? Really? It made me smile at that point in time. And she goes, yeah, you made me smile. You made me step out of myself for just a moment and made me realize that I was being such a jerk to other people that I didn't realize that I was in a hurry. I didn't realize that I was being rude. I didn't realize that I had a bad attitude. And until you said what you said to me, I didn't understand that. And she said she wanted to thank me. I was like, no. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Because you made me smile. You gave me an opportunity to provide mentorship. You gave me an opportunity to provide purpose, motivation, and direction. Now, I don't know what happened after I left, but I'm sure that she had a better attitude. And I'm sure that every customer after that probably got a little bit better customer service because of one tiny shift in attitude, one tiny shift in mindset can lead to other really good situations after that. So I really hope that every customer that was after me got the best customer service that they could ever get from this person. All right, pardon me for just a second. All right, so if you're enjoying what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Also, you know, I'm going to hold some questions here at the end if you got any questions and everything. But give me a thumbs up. Let me know, hey, if you're enjoying this. Give me a thumbs up. If you know you're finding value in the things that I'm saying, please let me know. Give me that feedback. I truly enjoy that. At the end of the video, I'm going to have an opportunity for you to gain some visibility or gain additional visibility within my channel, and I think you're going to like this. I really do. All right, so moving right along, when it comes down to, I appreciate it. Thank you. USA Blogger 2019 says, I love all you're doing. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dad Has Food Crave Kitchen gave me a smashing thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, if I knew how to do that, how do I do that? I'm not, how do I do that? Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? There it is. There goes that. So once again, I'm still trying to learn how to do this whole live thing. So just added some moderators here, a couple of moderators. All right, so USA Blogger 2019. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, moderator. You're all smurfed up now, is what I like to call it. You're blue. You're smurfed. And Dad Has Food Crave Kitchen. You've been smurfed up too. You're now blue. So once again, thank you for stopping in. Yeah, I didn't realize it was on the right. I didn't realize it was on the side here. So I did that. You guys are now blue, and I definitely want to make more moderators. I want to give more people moderation within the stream here as well too. All that I ask for is engagement. So if you've engaged with me positively, you know, once again, I will definitely make you blue and give you moderator status within my stream as I'm learning, as I'm growing, as I'm developing, as I'm, you know, creating as well. And yeah, no, I get it. No, absolutely. Yeah, loyal supporters. No, I truly understand. So I know that there's some people that are out there, like you guys say, you know, there's those people that are out there that are looking for their cake and trying to eat it too. And I absolutely get that. I absolutely get that. You're gonna wear that with pride. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm deeply humbled. I really am. So this entire week has been a great week. It really has. You know, I've watched I'm not going to do that. But I greatly do. I greatly appreciate it. You know, I've learned a lot of things over the last week watching some videos, and although I've watched videos, made comments and everything, and I know that, you know, you got to be social on social. And I absolutely agree with that 1,000%. You know, you got to be social on social. And there's a lot of people that are out there that are just not being social on social. It drives me freaking nuts. I'll give you an example. On my Instagram, you would really be surprised at how many generic comments that I get. And that really, man, that really sets me off. It really does, because it's that third-party software that these guys use that throws up an emoji. I mean, I get the concept of an emoji, but if you're going to stop on my stream and you're going to leave, or not my stream, but my Instagram, and you're going to leave me an emoji and then you're just going to leave, that's not engagement. That's not engagement. It is, but it isn't. And then I've had one, oh, this is hilarious. How many of you on Instagram have seen this? If you use Instagram, you get these generic posts like, I don't know if it's the perspective or I don't know if it's the angle, but what I really mean to say is I like your last few posts. They're getting better all the time. That is such a generic comment. It is such a generic comment. It drives me nuts. But that's my attitude towards that. So here's what I do. Once again, I said I love stuff and I try to find the positive. I try to take the negative to get to the positive. And yeah, exactly. They just come for the numbers. But I had I remember one time I was doing what I like to call a left seat, right seat ride. I had an employee that I was another leader that I was changing out with whenever I moved to a different company. So I moved to a different organization and I was doing what's called a left seat, right seat ride. And I was, oh my goodness, I was drilling this guy to the ground. I was just totally annihilating this person. And what I was doing is I was telling him, I was like, hey, I've got to get past the negative to get to the positive. So many people dwell on the negative that consumes them. So many people dwell on the negative that's all that happens to them throughout their daily business, is that they dwell on the negative without ever getting to the positive. So that's what I told him. I said, look, I said, I have to get through the negative to get to the positive. We're going to get to the positive, but I have to move that negative out of the way first. He didn't understand that, but after about a week of dealing with me, he finally understood and realized, you know what? Man, that makes so much sense to work your way through the negative to get to the positive. You know why I did that? Because once I've got the negative out of the way, there's only positive after that. Once you are able to take negativity and slide it away from you, it's gone. There's nothing but positivity beyond that. But once again, that's up to you to control. You control that. You own that. Don't let anybody take that away. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't let nobody steal your happiness, and don't let nobody steal your attitude, because you know what? You control that. You control that. And within the stories that I shared with you here today, I hope that you will understand that your attitude is something that you control. You control that. All right. So I wrote a piece. I wrote a piece called Gratitude. I'm trying to find it here. I guess it's not on here. Anyway, gratitude, not attitude. So gratitude, not attitude. I didn't find it here, but I can talk about it anyway. All right. So gratitude, not attitude. So going back to one of the stories that I talked about a few minutes ago, being thankful, having gratitude versus having a bad attitude can absolutely change your mindset. It can change your day. When you are thankful for things, when you are grateful for things, you have no time to be upset about things, to have a bad attitude towards things. Okay. All right. So here within the stream, we have Dada's Food Crave Kitchen says, I could have cared less if I come to your stream and don't have any number. Listening to you is more important than that. If people are not inspired or motivated in life, they can't move or strive more. Okay. That's a great way of looking at things. And strive. So strive is a great word. What do you strive for? What are your goals? All right. What are the things that you want to accomplish? Okay. Every single day, people wake up with a defeatist attitude. They get up and the first thing they start doing is they start complaining. Oh man, I'm up. Oh man, it's Monday. Oh man, it's Wednesday. And then next thing you know, thank God it's Friday. Oh my goodness, it is Friday. Hashtag Friday. It blows my mind. And then you get those people that live for the weekend. You know, it's like the whole song goes, everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend. Why are you working for the weekend? Guess what? To me, every day is Monday. Every day is Monday for me. All right, she's blue. Yep, blue. And every day is Monday. To me, every day is Monday. I have I I have a mindset that every day is Monday. When you have the mindset or you have the attitude that every day is Monday, you won't care what day it is. I don't care what day it is. I know today is Saturday because well, my damn calendar says so. It's Saturday. All right. But outside of that, today is still Monday. Because guess what? When I leave this live stream, I have work to do. I have a whole day's worth of work to do. All right. I got multiple businesses that I own and I operate. Okay. I'm not only a published author, but I'm also a web developer. I do graphics design. I do audio, video. I don't like you can't see it here, but to the right of me, I have a full recording studio. Okay, so I do audio work. I do lots of different things. I'm just now starting to get onto YouTube. So YouTube is one of those things that I completely neglected. I absolutely neglected the power of YouTube. I really did. And now that I'm starting to focus on it just a little bit more, I understand that there's great potential within YouTube. Once again, it's my attitude towards that. I didn't really have a good attitude towards YouTube. And now that I'm starting to get into it a little bit more, I see that there's huge power, huge potential in getting on YouTube. Okay. So yeah, once I do leave here, I do have a lot of other things that I got to get to and everything. And I know that, but you know what? I don't have a negative attitude towards that. I'm actually looking forward to it. So when you look forward to doing something, believe me, when you get up every single day, that will energize you. That will motivate you. That will inspire you to go out there and do the things that you do. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not motivated by the things that you do, if you're not inspired by the things that you do, you know what? You shouldn't be doing them. You should not be doing them. However, I truly understand, believe me, there's lots of things every single day that I go out there and I just don't want to do them. I don't feel like doing them. I don't want to do them. Now you notice how I kind of slumped down a little bit. I slumped down because that it's that attitude that defeats me. The more you think about something, the more that you say something, the more that you are going to take the life and the energy out of you. Don't think about the things of I have to do this. Think about it like this. I get to do these things. Okay. Dada's Food Crave Kitchen, you said something that tremendously inspired me. Okay. There are lots of people out there within this world that don't get to do a lot of things. Okay. They don't get to do a lot of things. They don't have a warm bed to sleep in. They don't have hot food to eat. They don't have a job. They don't have a house. They don't have, friends or family or whatever the case may be. All right. But I'm truly blessed. You are truly blessed. Everybody is truly blessed if you have those things. Once again, it's all about your attitude towards the situation. Okay. And when you have a negative attitude towards that, it will defeat you. I'm truly blessed. I'm thankful. I have a roof over my head. I have food. I have a family. I have kids. I have a job. I have multiple online businesses. I've got books. I have so many things to be thankful for. Yet so many people every single day, they complain about, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. Oh, and guess what? I have to do this too. No, you get to do those things. When you mind shift, when you change your mind from the things that you think you have to do and shift them just a little bit to the things that you get to do, it will energize you. All right. It will energize you. So here's a good one. This is something that I find kind of interesting. Children. So children are they're so impressionable. Okay, children are so impressionable. Now, in one of my books, I wrote about. Matter of fact, it was in this book. Trying to point right there. Leadership Solved. In that book, Leadership Solved, one of the concepts that I talked in that book about is everything in life that we do, from the way that we walk, from the way that we talk, are all from things that we have learned. You have learned how to do this. You have learned how to do that. You've learned how to say this. You've learned how to say that. You've learned how to discriminate. You've learned how to do your job. You've learned how to do lots of things. Your attitude is also something that is learned. You learn to have a good attitude towards things. You also learn to have a bad attitude towards things. Okay. Children are the greatest example of this, because you know what? Children haven't really learned yet what a good attitude is or what a bad attitude is. Children are really thinking about, one of like a few things. I want to play and I want to play now and I want to play later. I want to eat now and I want to eat later. I want to, whatever it is that they want to do now and what they want to do later. They haven't really learned how to have that attitude yet. So here's something for you. How many times have you seen a child, right? And they've spilled something, whether it be food, whether it be drink, whether it be, they drop their toys, they drop their ice cream or whatever the case may be. And right after they do that, they start crying. That's interesting. I have found that to be very interesting that, a child would immediately start crying right after they do something like that. They're not in trouble. I haven't started yelling. I haven't even picked you and started spanking you or anything like that, which I've seen people do. I don't spank my kids. If they do something, I will teach them. I will talk to them. I will show them, and so will mom. Mom will also do the same thing. She will talk to them, let them know that, hey, this is what you did. This is what you should have done. All right. So I've always found that interesting that whenever a kid spills something or drops something, they immediately start crying or the parent immediately starts laying into them. Once again, it's that attitude towards, oh man, I messed up. The world has come to an end and I'm going to cry. Okay. Once again, that's learned behavior. That child has learned to do that because they think that they've done something wrong. Because every time that they do something, the parent's attitude is, you messed up. You did something wrong. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove that to you. They learn that attitude. And guess what? That thing that they've learned, they take that and they run with that. And that goes back out into the world. Whenever somebody messes up, they take that energy and then they let them know, hey, you messed up. How many times have you had that happen to you where you've made a mistake, you've messed up, and someone immediately shoved it in your face? Hey, you messed up. Hey, you made a mistake. Hey, guess what? You're a complete dirtbag. Man, how does that make somebody feel? Okay, how does that make somebody feel? It doesn't necessarily make them feel very positive, I can tell you that. If somebody pointed out all of my flaws, if somebody pointed out all my mistakes, if somebody pointed out all the things that I've done, it's that attitude or that feedback that causes me to have a bad attitude. Man, I'm a total mess up. Man, I'm a total screw up. I can't do nothing right. I can't get nothing right. That's the attitude that somebody has whenever you do those kind of things. And once again, that example that I provided to you of a child spilling something and then immediately crying, they've learned that behavior based off of how, they were treated after they did something in the past, and that continues to go into the future. All right. So other attitude. So I got a couple other things here that I can talk about. I don't know if they really kind of pertain to what I've been talking about today. So showing up late to something, showing up late to something. I wrote that down for something. I can't remember what I wrote that down for. And I think it has, oh, here's what I wrote that down for. I know what I wrote that down for. Showing up late to something. So I remember years ago, I had somewhere that I needed to be and I showed up late. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, man. I showed up late. I was the last one to show up and I got immediately like embarrassed in front of the entire group. I was like, look, man, I'm late. I'm sorry. I was caught up in the middle of something and I'm here. Be thankful that I'm here, that I did show up. But you know what? The senior person within the room wasn't trying to hear that. He had a very bad attitude and a very negative attitude towards me showing up late because I interrupted the meeting. I interrupted what was going on. I absolutely did not respect what was happening. I didn't respect his time. I didn't respect his information and what he had to put out. I didn't expect his authority, his seniority. Looking back on it now, that's exactly what that translated into. But at that moment in time, whenever they said, you're late, why are you late? You know what my response was? I'm not late. I snapped back at that person. And that's the reason why he had a bad attitude towards me, because I snapped at him. What do you mean I'm late? I'm not late. I looked at my watch and I was like, it is, whatever time it was. And he goes, oh, so we're on your time now. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't win this. So guess what? I got told to leave. I got told to leave. So, and somebody else, another senior leader above me, grabbed me, took me outside, and started to talk to me and said, "Hey, you know, you don't respect time. You don't need to be here. You can't be on time. You don't need to be here. You don't respect, this other person on what he has to say or do or put out. You don't respect the team and the other people that decided to show up on time. You want to be late. You don't need to be here." So I was like, okay, fine. And then, which once again, that was a bad attitude towards that particular situation. Now I was let back into the room. They let me back into the room and I got to sit there and participate and everything. But believe me, the entire time I felt really bad. Okay. Which brings me to my point here. Here's the point of time management. We get so involved and so encompassed within time management, and that's a whole other video. That's a whole other concept. There's many books that are out there talking about time management. Here's my thoughts about time management. My thoughts about time management are this: if you can't be on time, be early. If you can't be on time, be early. Believe me, I've had events that I've showed up 2 hours early to, just so that I could prepare for that event. All right. I remember one time I had a job interview. So I had an interview. Oh my goodness. The interview, I think, was at, what time was the interview? I think it was at 9. I showed up at 7 and I sat there in my vehicle for 2 hours reading as much content and stuff that I could in preparation for that interview. It was that preparation that allowed me to have a positive attitude when I went into that interview. And when I went into that interview, I crushed it. I absolutely crushed it. Now, don't get me wrong. There was things that I messed up on. There were things that I missed, but I did not allow that to defeat me. I did not allow that to shift my mindset from positive to negative. If you don't know something, you don't know something. Okay? If you don't know something, you don't know something. There's nothing wrong in that. Be honest, be sincere, be direct. I would much rather have somebody tell me that they don't know something than to go out there and try to struggle with something, and then I'm expecting and I'm anticipating results. I'm anticipating a positive outcome. If you don't take the time to point something out or to say something at that particular moment in time, the assumption is automatically going to be made that you know what you're doing. The assumption is already going to be made, you got this. The assumption is already going to be made that you can handle this. Now, at the opposite end of that spectrum, believe me, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to come back to you. It's ultimately going to come to light. And I've had that happen to me. Believe me, I have confidently taken on things that I just wasn't competent in. Competence versus confidence. It's a great thing to look at. Competence versus confidence. Okay. So how many of you believe that you are very competent at something? Give me a thumbs up within the chat box if you think that you are very competent at things that you do. At the opposite end of that spectrum, how many of you have confidence in what you do? Okay. Competence versus confidence. One is a skill. One is based off of knowledge and one is based off of information. The other is based off of attitude. Okay. See how I twisted that just a little bit? I twisted that just a little bit. All right. Confidence is an attitude. It's an attitude. Okay. So throughout my career as a leader, I've always believed that competence builds confidence. Competence builds confidence. The more competent you are at something, the more confident you will be at performing that function. However, recently I was asked, which is more important, competence or confidence? So let me ask you, which do you think is more important? Do you believe competence is more important, or do you think confidence is more important? Let me know in the chat, which one do you think is more important, competence or confidence? You know, when I was asked this particular question, I had to take a step back. I absolutely had to take a step back. I was like, man, that's a great question. Which do I think is more important, competence or confidence? Okay, so let's look at the definition of each below here. All right, competence. According to the dictionary, confident or competence is the quality of being competent, adequacy, possession of required skill, knowledge, qualification, or capacity. All right, now let's take a look at confidence. Confidence is full trust, belief in the powers, trustworthiness, or reliability of a person or thing, belief in oneself and one's powers and abilities, self-confidence, self-reliance, assurance, and certitude. These are all great words. These are great ways to look at it. Okay, but now, having learned what the definition of each is, I have seen some very confident people that were not very competent, but confidently stood by their incompetence, no matter how wrong they were, and were believed by their subordinates or junior people because of their displayed confidence. Have you ever seen that? That is very interesting. There are a lot of confident people out there in the world that are not very competent. But guess what? They are put in senior positions of increased authority and responsibility, and they are given the opportunity to lead. Okay? They're given that opportunity to lead. Being in a leadership position is an opportunity. It's not a right. Okay? It's an opportunity. And when you get put in that position, you definitely need to be competent and you definitely need to be confident. However, there's a lot of incompetent people that are out there that are in positions of leadership. All right. So in the chat room, we have here from Dada's Food Crave Kitchen. When you have confidence, it means that you believe you can do something. If you don't have confidence, you can't believe in yourself at doing anything great. Okay. So I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. When you have confidence, you believe. When you believe, you can achieve. Okay. And it first starts with believing with yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't believe in others. But you first have to believe in yourself. And it's that confidence. When you have that confidence and you believe in yourself, you will be able to positively project that out into the world confidently. Okay? Confidently. You will portray that very confidently. All right. So having shed some light on these two important subjects, I still believe that competence builds confidence. But I'm actually at odds with these two words because of their potential positive or negative impact on the individual, team, or organization, depending on how they are used. Okay, depending on how they are used. All right, so quick story. So I had a junior leader years ago. Oh my goodness, this was what year were you in? 2000. This was 19 years ago. My goodness, time is flying. Has flown by. So 19 years. No, this was more than that. It was 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I had a junior leader. I was in a company 20 years ago, and I had a junior leader who was very, very confident. Okay, very, very confident at what this person did. And you know why he was confident at what he did? Because he knew all the answers. Okay, you're going to get those people that are just book smart, and then you're going to get those people that are action smart. Okay, they're doers. They go out and they do things, and that's how they've gained their knowledge, their experience, their skills and their experiences by doing. One of the greatest speeches that I ever heard. One of the greatest speeches that I ever heard. If you've never heard this, you should. It's absolutely hilarious to listen to, but it makes a point. It's very, very great to listen to, and it's called "Just Do It" by Art Williams. Okay, "Just Do It" by Art Williams. If you've never YouTube that whenever you get a chance, or write that down. "Just Do It" by Art Williams. Okay, if you haven't listened to that or you haven't watched that, I highly recommend listening to that and watching that. "Just Do It" speech by Art Williams. Okay. Most people out there have knowledge and skills, but they just don't take any action on the knowledge and skills that they have because they're not very confident. Sure, they have book smarts, they have the book answers, they know everything, they've read it, they've read the theory on stuff, but actually putting that into practice is a whole different thing. You know, you can know all the things in the world, but if you don't know how to put it into action, I would go as far as saying you're not very competent. Okay. Would you agree or disagree? Okay. Now, believe me, I've confidently stood in front of people and said, 1 + 1 is 3. Okay. That's some of that Southern math right there, MAF. Some of that Southern math for you right there. 1 + 1 is 3. And I've been able to prove that confidently. But I've also had people that look at me and say, "Well, you're not very competent. How do you get 3 by 1 + 1?" Well, look, 1 + 1 is 3. Anyway, so it's kind of a little bit of humor, a little bit of joke there. And but I've sold that confidently. All right, believe me, I've walked into a room and I have told people that all is good. Okay, very confidently. No, Terry, I can assure you that not all is good. Well, how so? Okay, how so? So I used to run a network of computers and everything, and I used to tell them, I was like, "Yeah, we're good. All is good. Everything is green. I can assure you that there is absolutely nothing wrong with my network, and we are good to go." All right, I used to be a network administrator, and and I was like, "Hey, we're good. Everything's good." Very confidently. Well, I had somebody look me straight in the face and say, "No, we are not good. I can assure you that everything is not good. The network is not good. And you need to go back and look at stuff and fix stuff." I was like, "I don't need to fix anything. Everything is right. Everything is correct. Everything is running good. Just because you are having an issue, it doesn't mean that I'm having an issue. Just because you are having a problem, it doesn't mean my network is having a problem. Just because you can't do something, it doesn't mean that my network can't do what you're trying to do." Once again, so here's what I did. So I kind of took that and I went back to this person's computer. I went to their office space, had a look at their computer, and it didn't take me long to realize I was like, this person's a complete idiot. I was like, this person on their computer had about 25 Word documents open, about 50 PDF files open, about 25 Internet Explorer tabs open, and was wondering why their computer wasn't working very fast. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, are you dumb? and uh, and it was just one of those things. I kind of had to take a step back, and I was like, look, I can assure you there's nothing wrong with my network. But if you have all of this stuff open, you are draining the resources on your computer, and it's not my fault, it's your fault. What that means is taking responsibility. Taking responsibility. How often have you been in a situation to where you've been around someone or even yourself to where you didn't want to take responsibility for something, or somebody didn't want to take responsibility of something, whether it be a situation or whatever the case may be? They didn't want to take responsibility. When you learn to take responsibility for something, you own that. Okay, you own that. And nobody can take that away from you when you take responsibility for something. And guess what? To kind of tie this up just a little bit here, or kind of connect the dots on what I'm trying to get after here, you own your attitude. You own your attitude. And how you portray that is up to you. You control that. You own that. You take responsibility for that. All right. I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, that when things go bad, all right, and things will go bad, you could have controlled that situation had you looked at it from a different perspective, from a different mindset, from a different attitude. Remember, what you give life to is what you give life to. You don't want something to have life, don't give it life. And that all starts with you taking responsibility and your attitude towards those situations. All right, well, I gotta wrap this up here because I got some other things that I need to get into. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me here today. But I have an opportunity for you before you go. So please stand by just a little bit longer. I have an opportunity for you. Here's exactly how I can support you and how I can help bring visibility to you and your channel. So I am about ready to, well, I've already started it, but I'm going to get more into it. I started a series once I properly learn how to label my YouTube videos here, which I'm going to figure that out today. I'll have that properly labeled today. I'm going to start a new series called the Leadership Is series, where every day I'm going to post a video with a word. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a word and I'm going to talk about that word and what it means to me, with the whole purpose and goal of motivating and inspiring you with how you can take something as simple as a word, okay, and build upon that within your life, within your business, okay? One word. So if you watched, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I had made a video. Make sure you watch that video. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. I will properly label that. I want you to leave me a word. What one word would you like me to talk about? Okay, in reference to like leadership. Yeah. Okay, something motivating, something inspiring. And what I will do is I will create a video based around that one word, what it means to me. And here's what I'm going to do. I will give you a shout out within that video. In the description of the video, I will make sure that I have a link back to your YouTube channel that, hey, this word came from you. So that way it'll bring visibility to you in the video, bring visibility to you within the description. And when people watch my video, they will know that that motivation, that inspiration to create that video or that word came from you, with the goal of them clicking on that link to go back and check out your channel, watch your channel, and go back and show you some love. Okay, that's my goal with that. So I'm going to call that the Leadership Is series. It's going to be a word, a single word, which I create a video for. And here's the thing. I also have a book called Leadership Is. I wrote a book called Leadership Is, in which I took 50 words and I wrote about those words. You can see that on my website, which I'll talk about that here in a minute. I have an ebook called Leadership Is, and I took 50 words and I talked about those 50 words. Here's another thing that I could probably do within that book, at least the ebook version of it. What I can also do is I could provide a link within that ebook back to you, like, hey, this word came from you. So you're going to gain visibility not only on my YouTube channel, but in my books as well too. Okay, that word came back from you. So if you have a website or you have social media, YouTube, whatever the case would be, I prefer websites that are motivating or inspiring. But once again, I want to help you. If you help me, I help you, kind of a thing as well too. That word came from you. So you can gain visibility on my YouTube, gain visibility within my books. And that's how I can show some love and give some love back to you for helping me. All right. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. Make sure that within the description or within the comment section of the video that you leave your one word. Say, hey, Terry, I want you to talk about whatever that word may be. Okay. One of the hashtags that I use. So if you like using hashtags, the hashtag that I like using is Mentor Me Terry. All right. It's hashtag Mentor Me Terry. Okay. And that's the hashtag that I like using right there. Whoops, sorry, I mistyped it. Wrong hashtag. There's the right hashtag. Sorry about that. Mentor Me Terry. That is the hashtag that I use right there. So what that does is that helps me keep track and visibility of who makes comments and who makes posts on those particular hashtags. So when I click on that hashtag, I can see everything within that hashtag that you've commented on. All right. So once again, that's an opportunity for you. So once again, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your day to watch me talk for an hour and a half. I've been on here for 1 hour and 33 minutes. I didn't think I was doing it. I was telling Dada's Food Crave Kitchen that I was only going to talk for about 20 minutes or so. And here I am an hour and 33 minutes later. I've been talking. So very interesting, but I had some content here, and once again, as I got to going, I guess. So once again, if you don't know who I am or you're unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Terry Wade Thompson. I am a motivational speaker. I'm a published author, life coach, coach, teach, trainer, mentor. I mean, there's a lot of labels that I can put on, who I am and what it is that I do. But within this last hour and a half, I hope that I've given you a little bit more of me that's outside of what those labels are, that has connected you directly with me. I'm definitely thankful, truly blessed that you took time out of your day to connect with me. But if you want to connect with more from me, you can do so at my website, which is terrythompson.me. I'm about ready to put the link here. Is it going to show up as a link? It's going to show up as a link. How about that? So that's my website right there, terrythompson.me. There you will find more motivational posts from me. You will also find my books. My books are available out on Amazon. I'm not asking you to go buy my books. Please don't go buy my books. If you want my books, all that I ask you to do is on that webpage, just join my email list. I promise I absolutely do not spam people. The only thing that I do is I send out more value. I send out free content. I send out links back to my videos now that I'm going to start doing that. And I will reach out to you. Make sure you put a good email address in there, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my books for free for taking time out of your day to watch me. I'm going to give you my books for free for taking time to engage with me. Okay. Like I said, I don't want you to go buy my books. I'm going to give them to you absolutely for free. Okay. That's my gift to you for engaging with me. All right, but you have to make sure that you join my list there. So when you go to that website, you'll see two things. I have one book that I wrote called How to Live Your Best Year Ever in 2019. And what I do is I kind of reset that book every year and put a new year on it. So that book's been going out for about 3 years now, and all I've done is change the year. The content is still the same. I just change the year on it and the cover on it every year. But the whole purpose behind that is that, I want to be able to give people some tips, tools, techniques, and resources that will help you have a great year, have a great day, right? Which I'm going to have videos on that later on, like how to have a good day, how to have a lot of people don't really know what a great day looks like. And I have some tips in there in which that if you do those things, if you take action on those things in that book, How to Live Your Best Year Ever in 2019, if you take action on those 10 things that I have within that book, that will set you up for success to have a really great day. Now, I know I said year, but really, if you do those things daily, you will have a great day, which will compound into a great week, a great month, and a great year. It's all about those little habits, those little shifts in your mindset that will allow you to basically do the things that you do on a daily basis. And those 10 things that I have in the book are easy. They are simple to follow habits that if you do those things, you will be successful. And that's my goal for you. I want you to be successful. On that website as well, too, terrythompson.me, you will also find my audiobook to this book right there, Leadership Solved. Okay, I have the audiobook absolutely for free. So once you sign up, you will get instant access to that audiobook, Leadership Solved. It's only a 35-minute audio, but within there, I talk about what leadership is. Okay, how leadership can help you, the things that you must do in order to be a good leader. Okay, so if you're interested and you want to be a good leader, make sure that you go over there, sign up, get that audio book, listen to it. It's only 35 minutes long. Okay, but I guarantee that if you take or you follow those action items within that book right there, you will be a better leader. Okay, that's all that I ask. Engage with me, go grab my books, increase your knowledge, your skills, and then take that out into the world confidently and be the best that you absolutely can be. All right. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. I forgot social media. I'm also on social media. So if you look at the website, you'll see where my social media links are. Connect with me. Go out there and connect with me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. You know that I'm on YouTube. Follow me on there. Let me know. Please let me know. So that way I know it's you. I've already had one embarrassing moment. I absolutely forgot. It's once again, it's that short mindset thing that I had engaged with someone, and I was immediately reminded, and I felt truly embarrassed and highly embarrassed about that. And uh, and I went back in and I commented on a bunch of posts. I really did. I felt very embarrassed, but I'm on social media. Let me know that you watched me, or use the hashtag mentor me Terry. That lets me know that that's you. And then what I'll do is I'll follow you back, and then I'll engage with you on your other social media as well too, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, or whether it be Instagram. I look forward to engaging with you. I look forward to providing more motivation, um, more inspiration. And I hope that you achieve everything that you want to achieve. I hope you achieve your goals. I hope you achieve your dreams. I hope for you that you go out there every single day and be the best that you possibly can be. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. All right, y'all have a good day. We'll see you next time.